Good morning, my fellow yogic travelers. I'm mighty glad to be alive today, and I hope that you are too as we continue to live, laugh, love, learn, linger, and live the life we love. It's Tuesday, so it's Song Day, Pertinent by Dylan, one of my favorite songs, especially now that we have a rogue president. This is the question we all have to ask. Man thinks, 'cause he rules the earth, he can do with it as he please. And if things don't change soon, he will. Man has invented his doom. First it was touching the moon. But there's a woman on my block sitting there as the night grows still. She says, who gonna take away his license to kill? You might be a heartbreaker, backbreaker, noisemaker, spirit maker, leaving no stone unturned. You might be an actor in the plot, that might be all that you got, until your error you clearly learn. Now he worships at an altar of a stagnant pool, and when he sees his own reflection, he's fulfilled. Man is opposed to fair play. He wants it all, he wants it his way. But there's a woman on my block, she's sitting there as the night grows still. She says, who gonna take away his license to kill? I said, who take away his license to kill? Yeah, who's gonna take away his license to kill? We're all in bated breath, waiting to see how this is going to end. But in the meantime, we got to keep putting out the good vibe. So our journal writing friends, our word for the day is alchemy. You know, the old pre-chemistry attempt to turn base metals into gold and find a universal elixir called the Philosopher's Stone. But I don't think that's what they were really doing. I think it was psychological workings on themselves, using language that guided and guarded what they were really doing. And you start off with what they call the prima materia, the gunk of your old life, the massa confusa, all the stuff that's jumbled together in you. And you have to work on what they call the magnus opus, the magnum opus, the great work. And how do you do it? Well, according to them, conjunctio oppositorum. How do you connect the opposites? How do you balance the polarities? And in any practice, you remain connected to the polarities of how you veer back and forth between them. Like in yoga, when you do a stretch, one side is different than the other. And you try to integrate them. And of course, it's personally specific to you. It's not just one size fits all. You have to do this according to what's right for you. So talk about how you are trying to bring something golden out of your personality from the base metals of your unregenerate ego. So elevate the conversation with your friends, psychologically think about it yourself, or tell me, and I'll let you know what's going on in my world as well. All right, now, my yogic teaching from BKS Iyengar is, although it says Chitta Nirodha is what yoga is, the stopping of the fluctuations of the mind stuff, the intentional stoppings of the spontaneous workings of your mind, to still it, to silence it, and to integrate your mind with your soul, which is neither going to forget nor ridicule the importance of your body, because once you hit the transcendent insight, okay, it doesn't mean that asana and pranayama didn't play their part or they're not important anymore. Right, so don't denigrate the value of the body. It's the vehicle in which you're going to realize who you really are. And of course, it always takes into account what we call the seat of knowledge, your head, the seat of the heart, your devotion, and the seat of your actions, how you play out in the world. So that's how they're showing you. You're going to deal with the jnana, the knowledge, the bhakti, the love, and the karma, the way you put it out into the world. Now, when you sit and meditate, and I hope you spend some time in silence every day, you'll realize that time is another concept. Now they don't even call it time anymore. It's time-space is a concept. And you can only experience reality, life, in the present moment. Yet you can plan definitely and intelligently for the future in the present moment. You can look at the past in the present moment, but past and future still only exist as kinds of thoughts in the present moment. That's the only place you can experience things. So to worry about what's been done in the past, to anxiously anticipate what might be happening in the future, it imposes a kind of false sense upon your relationship to the now and the choices that you make. Everything can be seen as something in the present moment, so don't get lost in the concept of time. Although, of course, an integrated model is that you have to learn how to. You make an appointment to meet you at the theater at 7:30. Time is important, yeah? But when we do this, we end up with the hippie philosophy, being committed to each other in spiritual agreement. We share a vision of the world filled with love. We know that spirit is real. We reinforce it every time we look in each other's eyes and recognize it. And we know we make a difference. And we're grateful for making the scene in the midst of a lot of other people who aren't making it very well. So always appreciating that. So what do? Heat up the experiment. Get on fire about that. Turn up the Bunsen burner. In alchemy, it's called calcinato, right? The heating up with a thermal decomposition that happens when you apply heat to the situation. And what will happen in your life? You'll submit. You'll surrender to what the hidden self seeks to reveal in you. And then your intuition is going to burst forward. There'll be a sudden immersion of your own soul into the universal life current, where the stories of all people are there and they're connected. And that's how we're able to know everything, because it's written there. Maktub, in the sands, as they say in the Middle Eastern world. Or we would say the Akashic records if you're an occultist. So remember, as my own Native American shamans have always reminded me, speak with grace, speak with diplomacy, speak with composure, and make your case for what matters most. And what matters most? Creating a world that's safe to live in. So, my friends, knowing that change is an inherent part of life, that's what's going to allow you to fully appreciate the good times when they come, without thinking that life has been unfair when they go. So may we all offer our vibrations on purpose. May we be deliberate creators and only put out those vibrations which serve ourselves and the world at large. Have a great day.